Everybody, and welcome. Good morning to everybody. It's a sunny day here down in New Zealand. And of course, we're going to be getting into crypto today on this particular show. If you guys have been enjoying the crypto and, of course, our variety shows that we've been holding on politics and other topics, smash the follow button on Rumble and smash the subscribe button on YouTube. And, of course, a big shout out to all the followers there. And let's have a big fun time today. Get into the chat. Let us know what you like. And of course, we've got crypto madness on our minds because we've got some crazy stuff happening over on PulseChain right now. And of course, Bitcoin is looking strong. It's looking good on Bitcoin. PDai, though, is one crazy narrative and crazy community. So we're going to talk a bit about that today. We're going to talk about Maker as well. Go through the Maker contract and talk about some of the processes and, of course, issues with the Maker contract that gives you that DAI narrative of DAI to $1. And of course, we've got PUSD Algo. We're going to talk about that. That's the real DAI, right? That's the real DAI that's coming up. And of course, we've been talking about that since the very beginning, over a year now. And of course, it requires an Oracle. So we're going to be talking about the Oracle update today that is hot off the press there that I got from the founder himself, good old Stu Man. And we've got more stuff coming out from Stu Man's team. With Tetra. So that's going to be big news coming up. And of course, we've also got a PUSD Algo, which is going to be neat. So three big projects coming to PulseChain. So PulseChain's not going anywhere. PDai drama might be a big drama, but actually PUSD Algo, Signum, and of course Tetra, they are huge projects on PulseChain. Let's not kid ourselves. That's big stuff coming. And we're going to be talking about EMIT, of course, which is another big farm coming to PulseChain. And the NFT, of course, we're going to give you an update about that. So EMIT. And of course, if you haven't checked my video out on EMIT, definitely look out for that. I just posted that recently. And get into the Telegram and use the Telegram link. I'll probably post that to you in a minute or so, actually. The other thing, of course, is TitanX. We're going to give an update about that. Looking for the bottom of wave 2. Looks like we might be there. Looks like we might just be there. And of course, Jake Sharp has returned. So omni-chain strategy should be moving forward after all this development period, about 2 months. He was missing in action. And of course, we're going to also talk about Uranus, the first project to go to base chain as part of the omni-chain strategy for TitanX, and it has been absolutely amazing. And of course, I covered that when it first launched. So if you'd got into that, you're mad gains. So that's pretty cool too. So we're going to get into all that. It's going to be a fun show. But man, we've got a bit of everything here today. So big shout out there. Let's see who's in the chat. We've got Brian, our community leader. What's up, Brian? Hope you're doing well. What's up, folks there? And we got Sidekick Hedgehog. Woo! Always excited. I love that. That's a Hedgehog 2.0. Hedgehog 2.0. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to bring up the Hex stats as well, because I want to talk a bit about the Hex at the end of our PulseChain session before we get onto TitanX, because I think that's important to talk about what the OA's been doing over there. Richard's been doing a number of moves, and of course we're going to talk about that a bit again as well. So if you guys are going to get so much insights today, it's going to be crazy. So it's going to be so good. All right, so let's get into it. Big shout out to Diamond Hands. And let's get into it. I'm moving around here. We've got quite a few people watching on Rumble. If you're on Rumble, definitely hit the follow button. We've had some good growth on Rumble. I really appreciate you guys over there. I love Rumble because it's free speech and it's got a really good algorithm compared to YouTube. So big shout out over there. And we're looking forward to grow more and more over there. And I can see Brian's already in the chat there. Brian's ready to Rumble. I love that. And he loves Rumble. He's over there all the time. He's over on Rumble watching Tim Pool and, of course, stuff like that. So it is great to be there for sure. But here on YouTube, of course, is our stable. And we're streaming to over 3 YouTube channels. And, of course, about 11,000 followers. So big shout out as well. All right, let's get into it without further ado. Let us pull up the markets, because we got no stock market today, right? It's the Sunday in the US still. So it's Monday here down under, of course. So let's get into the news here. And we've got the crypto market. So market cap, crypto, 24/7, baby. That's what we say. 2.888 trillion. So that's good luck, triple eights. And that is only down 0.8% at the moment. So maybe it's a good start for the week ahead. And of course, guys know it's the 24th of March, and we do have reciprocal tariffs coming in on the 2nd of April. That's ahead of us. But Bitcoin at the moment looking pretty damn good, up 3% for the week. 1.8% the last 24 hours, and up a 30% for the last hour. So all green across all those short-term metrics, and Bitcoin sitting at $85,461. So not bad there. Ethereum as well, just below 2,000. It is still weird to see Ethereum under 2,000, but it has, relatively underperformed Bitcoin at the moment. What else do we get? XRP is up 4.4% for the week, 2.4%, 24 hours, $2.42 at the moment. BNB is up 3.5% the last week, but down in last 24 hours, just under 1%. Solana up 3.7% for the week. So pretty modest gains in the leaders here on crypto. Solana up 2.5%. Dogecoin, similarly, 1.8, 2.5% in the last week and last 24 hours. Cardano up hardly anything. And of course, Tron, their number 10, up 8% for the week. So Tron actually the best performer over the week here, but down 3% in the last 24 hours. So those are some of the interesting ones. Now, as you guys know, we've been following Pi Network because of two reasons. One, because it's got a huge amount of phone miners. It was also one of the two big phone miners that you mine crypto on back in 2019. The other one being Electronium, and Pi Network seems to have won the day there. However, is struggling at the moment because it didn't get the Binance listing and Binance said, well, it's not a Binance coin. So, even though it won the people's vote, it didn't work because obviously with a lot of what they call pioneers mining the phone. Now, as you guys know, it's not really crypto from our point of view. It's just a TradeFi project sitting on the blockchain. But because of the KYC, and it's a ruthless KYC, just ridiculous stuff. Also takes a long time to get your tokens that you mined, and a lot of people are losing tokens because people haven't KYC'd. So you can sort of see there's a lot of problems there. Where's the positives? So that's the negatives. Positives, they're building a big business network and market. And of course, they've got some Pi name auctions at the moment, a bit like ENS, but on Pi. And people are bidding on that. I think the biggest bid is $30,000 at the moment. And they've had about tens of thousands of bids on it for sure. I can't remember the exact number, but it's pretty large. So yeah, maybe 60,000 bids or something like that. But that is where they're at the moment. So we'll keep a lookout for Pi Network. And if you're into Pi, let us know in the chat there if you're part of that mining or so on. So we'll see. Can it get back up to $2-3? We will see that as well. So that's kind of where we are with some of the leaders there. Let's jump over to Bitcoin and zoom in on that. So Bitcoin at the moment is $85,500, sitting at the 200-day moving average. Woohoo! That's got to be good, right? So 200-day moving average, that's a positive sign, and we're just at it right now. So pretty crazy stuff there. That's in blue. The 50-day, however, is at 89,000, and that is dropping. And of course, we know what comes up. The yellow crosses the blue. It's a death cross. We don't really want that to play out, but of course, we had a fake out over here. Remember? Back in September. So hopefully we'll move forward from that. In fact, I'm going to jump into a bigger screen. How do we do that? Let's go do that. Bam. Come on, we can do it. I don't know why it brings up. Every time I go to switch the screen, it brings up a menu for some reason. I have no idea why. So that is where we are at the moment, and hope we'll avoid a death cross. Obviously, we've still got the Bitcoin tariffs coming up on the 2nd. So it's only a few days away, right? So if we put that on a little chart here, we've got, where's the 2nd there? We've got 9 days to go until the reciprocal tariffs come on. There may be some negotiations going on there too. So we'll see what happens with that lands. We already see the EU, right, deferring some tariff retaliation. Really, Trump has most of the cards when it comes to this, right? So it will be interesting to see what they do regarding their trade. Yep, that's kind of where we are at the moment, and we'll see where it goes. Look, not too bad though, is it? Bitcoin at the moment, not too bad. Now, Bitcoin returns for the month. We're actually green for March, so we're up 0.75%. Now, it's only just green, but we'll take it. And of course, we've been green the last 4 months, but we still have quite a few days to go in March, right? So a good week at least in March. So we'll see where we actually land at the end of the month, and can we get at least 5%? We had 5% back in 2022. Let's see how we go. And of course, still feeling very bullish about the next quarter, right? The third quarter, and it's been a mixed result in the third quarter, as we can see, but we'll see how we get on. But feeling good about that because we know a lot of sovereign states, states of America, institutions, things like that are looking to pull in, buy crypto in Q2. So we've seen a lot of evidence for that. So got to be excited. The other thing, of course, is we've got ETFs have started to bring the money back in. So there's institutional money, big private money, and we've seen that it's gone green. We had very much a red period where we're dumping Bitcoin. We can see that actually now ETFs starting to come back into the market. So that's a good sign. Still, on the low side, but still coming in. And we can see that they are moving IBIT and FBTC leading the pack there. So it's we're starting to see some green shoots there. But like I say, we've still got the reciprocal tariffs on the 2nd of April, so we don't want to get ahead of ourselves too much. Now, I thought we'd have a quick look at the Bitcoin ownership, which I think is pretty important. Can you guys see that? I don't know if you can see that. Let me go back to the other place there, where you might be able to see the whole chart there. So we've got Bitcoin ownership. We looked at this some time ago, but I thought it was worth looking again to those that wonder who owns all the Bitcoin. Well, we've got Satoshi owns about 1 million Bitcoin there, and that's about 4.6%. Now that's never moved out of that wallet, right? So hopefully it never does, because that would be a dump fest, right? Be a dump fest. We got other BTC. It's about 190k, 0.9%, and we got lost Bitcoin by estimation, 1.57 billion. 1.57 million Bitcoin. Now, this is sometimes people use numbers up to 4 million Bitcoins been lost. So that may very well be true. But this estimate at the moment is 1.57. So it's a bit more modest that Bitcoin has been lost, which is pretty crazy, right? You think about it. And of course, we've got the biggest group, the individuals. That could be you out there. That could be you out there. And of course, we know it's some of the big famous people in crypto as well, some of the big holders. And of course, there is 14.5 million Bitcoin held by individuals. So we know that, funny enough, the individuals got in first, and now we've got sovereign states and institutions coming in. So who are they going to buy their Bitcoin off? Well, they're going to buy it off you, the individuals, right? So that's pretty much the math. You do the math there, and probably the longer you hold off, the more wealthy you will be, because the higher price will probably be occurring. And of course, Michael Saylor's big on that. So it's power to the people there. We also got businesses. So that's 69.4% held by individuals, 14.5 million Bitcoin. Businesses hold 4.4%, so about 914k. So that probably is my guess. That includes probably includes Michael Saylor as group. So pretty crazy there. And of course, we also got funds ETFs, which we just looked at, right? Which is just starting to invest back in. We looked at that chart. They got about 1.29 million Bitcoin, and that is sitting at 6.1%. So yeah, pretty crazy stuff. 6.1%, and that's going to grow. So you expect these businesses and the funds ETFs, that's going to grow, and we expect the individuals Bitcoin to go down because it's basically these guys are going to be buying from the individuals. Now, government at the moment, about 297,000 Bitcoin, maybe down at 200,000. It's probably a little high on this number. We'll see what happens when the audit comes out for the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve. But about 297, it says here, but probably more like 200. So it would change the numbers a bit there. 1.4% at the moment sitting on there. And so governments, ETFs, and businesses, they're going to be buying Bitcoin in the future off the individuals, largely speaking. The businesses might sell a little bit, but that's kind of largely where you're going to go there. So it's going to be swapping of hands. So individuals are going to get pretty wealthy as Bitcoin goes higher in price, and more of them will sell, right? Now, to be mined, 1.2 million to be mined. So we've got 19.8 million out of 21 million so far mined. 1.2 million to be mined. Of course, the last bit of Bitcoin's coming out in 2141. Isn't it crazy? That's approximate date. So crazy times here. So I thought we'd go through that. Hopefully that was insightful for some of you that wonder where all the Bitcoin is held by. And that's going to be pretty important moving forward. We've got a few people in the chat there too. Let's go with Hexcavator. Hey, Hexcavator. Hey, gang. Good to see you. And definitely smash the likes, everybody, as you're coming in there. And definitely smash the follow button or subscribe button as well. Big shout out to everybody over at Rumble. Of course, we've only just moved on to Rumble last Saturday. So it's great to be there. Xenon in the house as well. Hollers. Good to see you, Xenon. Big shout out to you. All right, so that's kind of where we are on Bitcoin. Let's jump over to all the drama, and that is Richard Hart, man. OMG. So Richard Hart, the founder of PulseChain, the founder of Hex, founder of PulseX, founder of Incentive Token. He has, and founder of Pump.Tires from the looks of it. He has been on an X storm on X. Used to call it Twitter storm. Has a better ring at Twitter storm, but X is a kind of a more simplified version of life, doesn't it? So pretty crazy stuff from Richard out today. And of course, we love it when he does a post like this, post storms, as it were. So kind of cool. We call it an X storm. Do we call it X storm? Maybe X storm kind of has a better ring to it. But he's been all over there. Look at that. Pretty crazy stuff right there. Anyway, so we're going to go through a couple of these. He's got prepare for an educational tweet storm. You all need education badly, he says. He's at 52,000. So it's a bit like going to school. And, you go to school and you get there, and then suddenly there's a bell rings, and normally you'd go to your classes. But this time, no, everybody's got to race off to the hall, right? Everyone's going to the hall, and you get to the hall, and the headmaster comes out, and all the teachers are sitting down, or they come in and sit down, and the headmaster gets up, and he's got something bad to say, right? Some kids, or something's going wrong with the school, and the headmaster has to tell everybody off. That's a bit like this. So Richard Hart says, I brag often about design things that have worked flawlessly for years. So people buy things I didn't design at all. Then they take no responsibility for their own choices. So that's the big opening there. 2 hours ago, after that, he says, most tokens suck, which is why no sane person promotes most tokens. So when you take Ethereum and copy it, all the things come over: the good, the bad, and the ugly. And for things that aren't actually decentralized or have counterparty risk, like hoping a DAO votes for not evil, then the thing that sucked over there likely sucks even more on the copy. And then he goes on further to say, wouldn't it be funny that in a world where people will buy any stupid ticker at all, whether it's be a dog coin or food coin or butt coin, whatever, wouldn't it be so very stupid to pick a meme like a coin to popularize that in fact was just laden with counterparty risk out of the yin yang? Now, I tweet about inflation and counterparty risk all the time, but no one listens, so they choose as their champion the thing they don't even understand. So dumb. And then he goes on to say, he goes, PulseX and Pulse benefit from volume because there's so much buying and burning mechanisms all over the place. PulseX has burned tons of supply and Pulse as well. However, that reduction in supply only shows up net in price. If it exceeds the idiots being extracted buying stupid things, so if people are not already in chain with buying into a new thing, prices might tend up. However, if people are just PvP extracting internally, then every new stupid thing they try to FOMO just results in the new extractor, whether it be a founder of a new coin or an exploiter of a stupid coin, become potential sell pressure or actual dumping. So, we're alluding to PDai in particular here. So that was pretty much it on that one. Then he moves on to say Solana was totally and completely wrecked, but they had so much free press about being wrecked that they got a free lottery ticket towards pumping back up. Didn't matter if the chain froze or needed to reboot, as long as people kept buying for whatever reason. Meme, I guess, number go up. You can even see it in my follower numbers here. The stupid PDai drama, the stupid coin. So this is getting really direct now on PDai. The stupid PDai drama, the stupid coin with a grand total of 300k liquidity, that only is notable at all because the chart looked great. Before someone started inflating the crap out of supply at nearly no cost to themselves, and then the old mechanics that made the chart great got nuked. TLDR, being wrecked brings eyeballs, and if you have a good product feature, good service technology, you can win big in the end. So play the long game, play the Richard Hart tokens for sure. And then we move on there. Another one there. What's the difference between 1,000 tokens being worth nearly nothing and PDai worth nearly nothing? Not much. The vast majority of P tokens, that's tokens on Pulse Chain, ain't worth crap. And of course, the only difference was that the promoters of PDai did so much lying and gave out so much hopium that it actually on-ramped people. So how about that? So that he's getting directly to the promoters, and because you guys know who they are. So the only difference was that the promoters of PDai did so much lying and gave out so much hopium that it actually on-ramped people. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. So it's been a crazy time there. The problem is they didn't know the lies they were telling were actually promoting something that someone was minting for free without having to buy it. So Richard really annoyed about that, and he posted a video of that, of course. Now, some people didn't believe it. Could it be a ruse? Hey, look, I mean, it's understandable. The internet's a powerful place. But in any case, I think the protocol itself, which we're going to talk about as well, there's this ethical thing where, not morally, if you bought a token and took the economic risk of buying and holding it, you're supposed to get more of the upside price appreciation than somebody that exploited the contract or stole someone else's money or even lied to promote it. The person that took the honest speculator's risk is supposed to do better than the lying cheating guys. I'd rather people promote yet another stupid coin than yet another stupid coin with massive bugs and risks, which we're going to talk about too. TLDR, speculation is honest work, lying and exploiting not so much. So that's a big telling off there to some people in the community. So you can decide who those people are. Uh, you thought it was easy making really reliable, useful, functional software, so you bought any ticker at all. You're bad, yo. I have been screaming at you about doing that crap for years. Most things in crypto suck, man. I love it. This is good old Richard back. This is Richard 1.0 rather than 2.0. Although I like 2.0. I do like 2.0. PLS works great. PLSX works great. Pump tires works great. So now look, pump tires. Some people like it, some people don't. Obviously, for Pulse, it works really well because it helps, and to some degree, possibly get more volume through the Pulse chain and therefore burn more Pulse fees, and then also directly into PulseX as well. And there are some good projects in there. It's obviously a limited supply of 1 billion tokens. But you got to decide. It's not my favorite, and I know other influencers not particularly their favorite, but there's definitely been a lot of opportunity for people there. So we'll see how that goes. Pulse works great. That's definitely true. Hex works great. Now, Hex works great, but there's a big but there. And of course, as you guys know, I've covered Hex from the beginning, being in the Hex AA lobby day one, all of that good stuff. Followed, a Bitcoin Hex from the beginning. Richard Hart, since he's worn his top hat, and it is really great. However, one must be aware that the origin accounts, the sacrifice wallets, they control a big supply. That's how Richard sets up the tokenomics. And of course, it does act as a regulator in the yield. So we're going to talk about that today. That's why I wanted to bring up the Hex today, just to talk about that. Now, great working software alone doesn't control whether people press the buy or sell button or not. It seems marketing is mostly responsible for that, or Ethereum would have a greater market cap than Bitcoin. I can make a long list of other things whose price would be different as well. In an ecosystem where anybody will buy anything, no matter how stupid, I guess that the rally that's created. TLDR, the crap you bought sucking doesn't mean the crap I designed sucks. Buy better stuff. Now, as you guys know, the last day or two, I've been focusing on what is value on Pulse Chain, given the PDai, deck of cards that are built on House of Sand, as it were, for PDai. And done that so that people have a better direction of where value is actually at on Polstron, because a lot of people have been getting confused. Where is the value on Polstron? Where can I make mad gains? And so I've been trying to steer people in that direction. Now, obviously, some of those are definitely Richard Hart tokens. And some, interesting enough, Richard Hart tokens sold off, of course, as people go on PDai, and also as people were worried about the impact of the contagion of PDai, right? And I talked about how that would be mitigated in the marketplace through multiple means, right? First of all, potentially through Richard Hart selling PDai out down through the chain. Secondly, people pulling the LP in the PDai. And thirdly, people not buying it, right? But of course, there were people promoting it, and it got rebounded, right? Especially last night before Richard did the X post storm. And then the other one, of course, is projects that webbed through PDai have to decouple, right? And so we've already seen that happen already, which has been pretty incredible. And I posted that in the Discord. So if you're not in that Discord, you should really join up. The link's in the video description to join up. Community member is only $12.50 a month, and Crypto Strategy Club is only $35 a month, so you can join up to that. But anyway, what I posted in there was that PDC UFO founder is decoupling from PDai. These are the big projects too, right, on Pulse Chain. SolidX, another big one, is also announced with Firewall that they're decoupling from PDai. And Atropa Dev, James Samaria was going to be decoupling, but it's been a little bit of, a bit of a U-turn there. And so that's still in question mark. So, but these are the major ones, and it's important that they decouple from PDai. So it's very important there. Yeah, Brian's posting the link there to the Discord. Thanks for that, Brian. That is the one there. So very important there. Now we've got Diamond Heads, let him cook, says Diamond Heads, let him cook, indeed. True. And we've got the DAP there from Xenon as well. Big shout out there. Now, that is where we are on that. And of course, as those are the moves that need to happen, right? And so we've actually seen those moves happen. So that's pretty cool. And so that is some of the cool stuff there. Now, Richard Hart also keep going on with this. So I've got a few more to go before we move on. But general education you sorely need. Thought experience. You launch a token on pump tires. The token becomes popular with Ethereum folks. They bridge in and they buy it. PLS is pressured upwards. It graduates to PulseX and Pulse. Prices are pressured. I guess it means INC token there, I guess. Your token's price is too. So it all goes up, right? Cool. Okay, now thought experiment two. You launch a token on pump tires. It becomes popular with Pulse Chain folks. Yeah, they buy it. Pulse price is in dollars don't move at all. It just went from their hands to the token launcher's hands. The launcher sells the Pulse for DAI and bridges out. You see the difference? Launch tokens or not, tokens going up in value or not. What really matters is all the activity creating more market rarity of the token you care about. And that's what we've seen recently on Pulse Chain, right? We've seen the incentive token inflation got cut by 20x by Richard. And we've also seen the sacrifice origin accounts stake out HEX on the Pulse Chain and Ethereum, lowering the payout of inflation to the miners. And therefore, that makes arguably HEX way more scarce. And of course, the dumping effect less. And so we've seen Richard move on inflation to cut that back, right? And of course, increasing the burning of Pulse with pump tires and PulseX as well. So you can sort of see some of the moves that Richard / whoever's controlling these wallets is doing. So that's pretty important there. So a big thing there on inflation, which is an early sign of the direction that he's trying to push the chain in towards upward value, right? Which is what everyone ultimately wants to see, the chain get more valuable, and then people benefit better, right? We know Pump Tires burns tons of Pulse, like 400K worth last few days. We know PulseX burns a lot of PulseX, like $30 to $50,000 a day, which is awesome. The tokens are becoming more rare in total, but for price to feel it, they have to feel more rare in the market as well. And there's a psychology here, right? And at the moment, PDai has been sucking a lot of that psychology in, and also the influencers and other people in the community that have been pushing it, right? So it's been sucking a lot of that air out into a flawed system, right? But for price to feel it, they have to feel more rare in the market as well, which is greatly affected by whether people are getting extracted on and dumped on or not, which is even worse, right? Because you're actually sucking out economic energy that could go into the quality stuff and pump tokens. So someone could create some stupid new coin, convince people to buy it, then take their gains and bridge them out and say, see ya, thanks for the 20 pantos there. But if they don't bridge out the new eyeballs on ramp, then the price goes up. So the net effect on chain price, aside from what looks Ruby Goldbergish, is an economic strategy coming or going, and is so as a few of this line's a little bit messy. And which way will it go in the future? I can think of a chain that has more utility and real functionality and proven reliability than this one, yet a price as nuked. Great, reliable, functional software doesn't control whether people click buy or sell, or even they choose to buy or sell. So you got to get the psychology right. And then we got a bit more here. So we've got TLDR. If you're going to be a degenerate, do it on things that have less counterparty risk and perhaps more functionality. I don't like high inflation. The total liquidity, if you minted indefinite PDai and market sold right now, is 400K. So it's not really worth thinking about it at all, unless the dum-dum keeps buying the bad coin. So those that are buying, he's calling you dum-dums out there. You got to be careful because you're buying a flawed ecosystem on PDai Maker. Why buy a coin that sucks? You know the whales that own Maker on Ethereum can just come and do what they want to do to those contracts at will, right? You're sucking middleman D, as he calls it, but the middleman don't even know or care you exist. You've been warned about admin key risk by me for a million times, right? So continue there. It's got a little picture there of obviously DAI as well. So PDai at the top and EDAI there. And the price impact 99%. So if they wanted to come along and smash you, bro, smash them, bro. All right, so that's from Richard as well. 1 hour ago, supply and demand reign supreme. Pulse Chain and PulseX are doing exactly what they were designed to do. So he's really drawing people's attention back to the Richard Hart core tokens. So what do we got? We got value with Richard Hart core tokens. You know, they're discounted at the moment just because of psychology in the market. But we also got, which is a great time to buy them, And we also got pump some of the pump tires, a few selection of the pump tires. And then we've also got some of our quality projects, right? I would argue some of them, doesn't mean that their price hasn't had profit taking on them, but they're still quality. So, we've talked about a few of those earlier, PDC and others that have, had their discount sell off. So maybe a good entry there again. Still got to use your nouns on individual tokens, but definitely ones that have decent liquidity and decent futures, decent tokenomics. Those are the sort of ones you should be looking at. High throughput, low fees, and supplies are shrinking. People are hearing about and using the software. PulseX and Inc. Also working flawlessly. Great software with a great design isn't enough. Marketing is required. So instead of marketing PDai, market the good stuff, Richard Hart stuff, and other, the few quality ones on Pulse Chain. Marketing is what gets people to buy the absolute stupidest garbage imaginable all the time. So it should work quite well for something that awesome like PulseX and Pulse, which is pretty cool. So those were the latest there. I think we got one more. We got one more in here. Yeah, we got a couple more actually. He's been going good on this one. So that was we got up to that one. I think we did. So yep, we got this one here. So he's talking about stablecoins, not trustless, not anonymous, not censorship on the stablecoins, not open source, not likely to appreciate, not too stable, not too peer-to-peer, not decentralized, not smart, unless you're the corporation trading and pretending. Now we've got a solution coming to Pulse Chain for stablecoins, and that's PUSD Algo, and that's why we've been talking about it. So we're going to talk about it a bit later again. Now, Richard Hart there, you don't say. Just a reminder that nearly all DeFi is actually centralized by admin keys and oracles run by a couple of dudes. Now, there's another problem, of course, for PDai Maker, and we're going to talk about that. Hex and Uniswap have no off switch and no oracle run by a couple of guys. Come and see what actually decentralized finance looks like. Hex, of course. Who warns you about admin keys? This guy. And of course, that's 46 minutes ago. Richard Hart versus your admin key project streams. And then, of course, that is it. So he's going good. He's going hardcore today. And part of the thing, I talked about this. Some of the influencers in the community, and I love them all. The goods and the bads. And some of them are taking Richard on. And I don't know if he likes that very much either. So take note, folks out there as well. So the founder is back, and of course, you guys know Richard's probably got the highest engagement out of anybody, even though he's been away for quite a bit. Obviously got some issues there around the SEC and things, and of course, but he is actually, he's actually the rebel of crypto founder. He's really, just done some amazing things, and we're looking forward to that. So he's trying to get people refocused back into the real thing, and let's see what people do. All right, so we're going to go to GoPulse and have a look at the results. We've got day 681. We've got Pulse at the moment at quadruple 0267, down 7.5%. Still at 27% of the mean sacrifice price. So there's huge opportunity here. And Richard's trying to steer people back to this and tell people, get out and promote. Stop promoting junk and get out, promote the real deal. And of course, he's telling you about the inflation is being burned off. He's telling you about that. Get out there and spread it. PulseX as well, quadruple 0237, 7.8%. If people are buying the quality stuff, then these prices will be going up more than going down, right? That's still at 23.7% of the mean sacrifice price. The buy and burn at 1.33 trillion. That is up huge, 6.871%, which Richard was highlighting as well. Now, Richard has obviously been fighting the SEC, had a great victory, and we're assuming and going forward with a high probability that will be sunk after the 30-day extension. And we've got INC there at $1.46, down 2.88%, 55,000 Pulse per one incentive token. And as I pointed out, Richard's already, or his team at least, has already cut inflation by 20x. It's only 5% of what it was. We're sitting at 55 million or so incentive tokens. Hex, of course, also had its inflation cut with the sacrifice OA wallets staking as well. First the short-term stakes, and now we've seen some big ladders with 250 billion Hex stake there. So moderating the inflation, we always knew that was a possibility because we have seen those actions before, right? Big payday. We saw the early couple of years ladders with the OAs. So we have seen that before. And of course, we knew that's the best way of regulating Hex inflation. So it was always a yield issue there. So we got Hex at the moment at just under 6400th of a penny, down almost 11%. EHEX at the moment at 1700th of a penny. Combined price of EHEX and PX is 0.8 of a penny. What a great price range to start DCAing into Hex as well. Remember, Hex was only recently up at 3 cents or so. And so, what was $30,000 for a million Hex is now only $6,400. So it's a pretty good damn entry. And if you're bullish about PulseChain longer term, especially after the SEC is put to bed once and for all, then game on, right? And of course, altcoin season, Bitcoin rally ahead of us. Man, things could get pretty crazy. Magic carpet ride, money recovers. It could be awesome, right? So that's very important there too. In fact, let's bring up the magic carpet ride money to see where it is at the moment. So it's down at the moment, so there's no doubt about that. But of course, as ETH rallies, this will rally as well. So it's down 47% at $303 million. But once ETH goes back up, this is back up, right? So and the game on there for that. Now, how it's going to be applied? Well, there's multiple ways that could be applied. So we will see how that goes on that one. So that is kind of where we are there. Let's have a quick look at the gas prices. Gas prices have been insane at some times, and particularly at the moment, 17.3 million beats at the moment. We've seen it over 300 million beats and all sorts of crazy prices on PulseChain. Currently 20 cents for a PulseX swap. It is insanity there. And it's got to be a crazy place in gold crypto there. We got validators, 48,500. So we're pretty much sitting, pretty good there. And of course, full decentralized chain. And the amount in the on PulseChain at the moment, 90.8 million. So it's the lowest we've seen it for some time now. And but the the EDAI is still the same, 25.4 from yesterday. So no change there. I'm presuming USD Tether, USDC, and USD Tether are not too much different either. Maybe USD Tether's down a little bit there. Now the other one we're looking at also is EHEX. EHEX at the moment obviously is down, so that's dragging the value down there. Coast is pretty much at 9 million, no change there. And of course, Bitcoin there up a little bit there, and ETH up a little bit. So really, it looks like EHEX there is the one dragging stuff down a little bit there, moving us down to 90.9 million. Now, as you guys know, we've got bridged out about 1.4 million. So it's so pretty down a little bit lower than yesterday. And then we've got most of that, we've got some Pulse and stuff there as well. So now, you guys know we've also got native stablecoins, and they're very important on PulseChain. We've got USDL, PXDC, and HEXDC, backed by Pulse, PulseX, and Hex respectively. And of course, they're very important. We've got Coast there backed by Fiat. So we've got two different models of stablecoin, but they're not the third part, right? There's a stablecoin trilemma. The third trilemma is scalability. Now, Rich is talking about marketing and adoption and buying the good stuff. Well, we need something that helps that scalability compared to the liquidity forks, which are great for, collateral, and Fiat, of course, good for Coast. But we need something that's algorithmic, something that can scale, and PUSD Algo is that solution coming to PulseChain, not DAI. People thought DAI would be the one, DAI to $1, but it's PUSD Algo that's actually going to be $1. Now, there are a few other models on PulseChain, but they're not $1 either. They're speculative, right? Now, some of the teams, I think, have a genuine aspiration to be $1, but they're not $1. They're pegged. There are speculative tokens. Now, PUSD Algo is going to be $1 pretty much at the beginning of its existence. And we've seen that already on the testnet over a year ago. And I've covered that in videos before. And of course, that's what we're looking for. It's going to be a full DeFi solution. No middleman D, as Richard would say. It's going to be a full DeFi solution. And of course, that's why we've been promoting it on this channel. And of course, it's built by the world's best peer-to-peer dev. And so we're looking for good stuff there. And I've got some updates about that coming up. So let's jump over to the PulseChain and have a look at the volumes. We've got $75 million in volume, so that's pretty good. That's obviously burning a lot of Pulse and PulseX out there. And we got 24-hour transactions, almost 600,000, which is almost 2x what we normally have, especially for a Sunday in the US. So that's pretty crazy. Now, we do have some good movers today. We've got PDai that's just launched. Looks like it's launched 2 hours ago on Pump Tires. So that's up 1,300%. Now, it does have a few red flags there, so I'm not quite sure why that is, but that is up there quite a bit there. Staked ETH, of course, another one of the copies on PulseChain. That is up 61%. USD Tether, one of the pump tire ones, there is up 41%. G-Baby is been around for 4 months. That's up 36%. DAI here, this is DAI on pump tires. Remember, it's only a billion supply, but there are some pretty big holders on it, so just remember that. That is up 30% as well. SolidX, of course, we talked about this. We talked about some of the big projects on PulseChain, and SolidX is one of those with Firewhale, the big whale there, and Randy Alasky's friend, and he's talked about decoupling from PDai, and so that is up 18% at the moment. So this is part of that strategy I talked about before they even did it, right? So before they even did it, talked about that. Pdong, of course, that went live yesterday. The good old Vietnamese hacker. That's the narrative there. And of course, if you've seen the videos, we covered all that stuff in the video live stream the other day. That's up 17% there. That's from this is from a new peer actually related to PDong. We've also got, it's also got promotion on it. We got obviously, what else? We got USDC. This is also a pump tires one. That's up 14%. A Doubt token is also a pump tires. That's up 12%. And Teddy Bear is up 8%. Now, Teddy Bear was doing pretty well like PDai was overnight. But of course, after Richard did his post-storm, that got smashed quite a bit there, right? Now, Beast was also one of the Finvestor tokens. That's up 7%. So we've got a few movers here at the moment. You can see Finvestor down here, also up 5% there as well. So, Finvestor's been one of the better ecosystems of tokens, Finvestor being kind of the parent of them all, and also most wanted, right? We saw money going into most wanted there from Richard apparently, but that is up 4% at the moment, and so is Pump Tires there from Pump Tires as well. So, Richard's sending some signals that the core coins are important. Some of the perhaps selected Pump Tires ones are good, the ones that make it the PulseX and then actually do well. And you got to, obviously find the good ones. Obviously, some of the ones that have been pumping have been like most token Pump Tires and a few others. PDong, of course, is the most recent one there. Will it survive? Is another question. Probably not. But definitely, maybe most and Pump might continue on to have a good day. Maybe some of the stable coin like PDai, the Pump Tires version of DAI, the PDai there might continue on. It's currently at half a cent. So there's a few opportunities, but there's still, some risk there as well. Then we've got some other ones, of course, PDC, UFO. They are looking to decouple from PDai. So we've got that as well. And so they are just pretty flat, slightly down today. Maybe a bit of opportunity there with the PDai UFO ecosystem. But it's good to see these teams, which are the bigger teams on Pulse Chain, decoupling from PDai and following Richard's lead there. Now, it's going to be interesting to see what the influencers say. We also know that Moon King said that he's no longer going to be covering PDai, particularly around the fact that no one exploit that is there because of the US law. And so he's decided not to do that. Now, it will be interesting to see what some of the others that have been promoting this will do as well. So I haven't actually checked up on that. Maybe they've already made statements. I don't know. But that's kind of where we are. Now, I want to look at volume here because we've got some interesting volume ones here. Actually, what's the what do I want to talk about? There we go. So we got PulseX at the moment at the top here at 9.2 million. This Tropa one's a bit weird, so I'm not sure what's going on with the Tropa one with the DAI. So we'll have to further investigate that. But PulseX incentive token, they're the big liquidity volumes. So if you're wondering where the most value is, well, you can follow the liquidity generally speaking. We've got incentive token, Hex, of course. These are all Richard Hart tokens. We've got Halco, which is a Hex derivative. And we've got obviously PDC, the Greys there, still holding up pretty well. Like I said, that's probably one of the more quality ones, especially after the big retrace there. So possibly a good entry price. And of course, SolidX there as well, up with good liquidity. And of course, they got liquid leadership and support there with Fire Whale, the big whale there, Randy Alasky's made. And then, of course, we've got UFO as well, part of PGC, also over $1 million. So that sort of shows you the better quality projects just by liquidity point of view. And of course, also, if you think about their design and who founded them, they're kind of where the best, sort of investor value is, as opposed to hardcore speculative value, which people are free to do, of course. So that's kind of some of the stuff we got going there. Now, what else we got there? We've got a couple more comments. We've got Wookie in house there. Hey, boy, good to see you, Wookie. We also got Dragon Rising. Wouldn't the pump tires PDai not work as a stable supply? Cannot grow. Well, there's no oracles for that. It's just a token, right? It's just a token. So it can go up to $1, but it's just speculative, right? That doesn't mean it's got collateralization to hold it with that system of collateralization. But good question. All right, so that is pretty much it on Pulse. And let's jump into PDai. Now, PDai was rallying overnight, and we were watching it. I think I went to sleep. Where was it? Went to sleep about here. It was just before the top. And it rallied all the way up to just under 3900th of a penny. And I know that it was being rallied as well by certain influencers in the market. And then, of course, Richard came out and with the Twitter storm, it's pretty much be smashed. You can see it back here get smashed all the way back down to 1100th of a penny. So it was up almost at 400th of a penny, went down to 1100 penny. So pretty brutal for people that got in and held that. Hopefully people that, they managed to sell out up here or something. But it got pretty brutal. It is back up to 1800th of a penny. So we'll see whether this continues, right? There is a lot of people involved in PDai. The psychology sticks in the mind quite a bit, and there's still influencers promoting it. So let's see what happens here. But you can see just in the chart how volatile it has been. This is on the hourly chart, by the way, just if you want a context there. Looking at the daily, let's have a look at the daily there. That is the chart at the moment. So, it's still 18, so it's losing a little bit of breath. Can you see it? It looks like the chart is actually losing energy there. So let's see what happens, especially after that Richard Hart X Storm. And maybe people should start looking for better value. But of course, there are the maxis, right? There are the maxis as well. Now, we're going to talk about Maker because I think it's important. So let's jump over to the Maker contract here. Now, there's quite a few terms here. Joy, which is the available die. There's ore, which is called sin, right? It's a sin. So you got to get used to the jargon, right? So joy, the available die there. This is kind of the surplus die that the VAT has, right? So the VAT is kind of the counting system for Maker, and joy here is the surplus die that gets attracted. There's three different ways that the die goes into the joy. It's basically, imagine it like the pool of money to pay back debts, bad debts, pretty much. So die available in the VAL contract that can be used to settle debts. So this is kind of the, if the protocol's doing well, it's generating this die, and it can be used to pay off debts that can't, because obviously debts, when you make a debt, it's collateralized, but maybe the market gets shocked, the price gets crashed, and the debt's not enough to cover the debt, the debt that was borrowed, right? So you need some surplus there, and that comes from this joy, right? And there's three different things that feed that in. We also got the total amount of debt that's on the books, the total assigned to the VAL contract. So this is the amount of debt that is basically out of the money, needs to be paid off, right? So they run different auctions on this, and they have to pretty much run a flip auction and get rid of that, right? And if it's still there, it gets pumped over to the sin, right? The skewed debt. If it's not able to get paid off, it jumps over to here. And of course, the sum of all debt queued for auctions that has not been flogged yet. And of course, when it gets flogged off, it goes into what we call the woe, right? The bad debt. This is stuff that, the collateral hasn't covered it. The flip auction hasn't covered it. In other words, people pretty much buying it. And then, of course, it ends up over here in bad debts. And so it will stay there until it's paid off. And if it doesn't, it's going to end up going to the flop auction, which everyone's familiar that talking about this flop auction. And of course, it stays there for about 156 hours in the sin process before it goes to the woe. Now we've seen debts last night come into the woe, in terms of quite tens of millions of PDai, and then get suddenly paid off, right? And so don't actually end up going to the flop auction. So we're back but the joy has gone down a lot, right? So the joy last night was sitting at 688. I think it was even higher actually. It was the total number 714. It was sitting at 714 million die. So this is the surplus die that's been accumulated by the system above the VAT balance, which is 500,000, right? It's a very small amount. So 400. We've gone from 714 down to 414 die, right? So this is stuff that's able to pay off the liability. So imagine you got asset on one side, you got liability on the side. You can use the asset to pay the liability if the liability wasn't able to be paid off through selling collateral and selling the loans off in a flip auction. So that's kind of the idea. And if it gets to that point, it goes to the woe, and of course then the woe is auctioned off. And so people that auction this off will pay PDai, and then they'll get Maker will be issued. So you're inflating the Maker supply, so it's bad for Maker. And then of course, went bad, bad for Maker. And then of course that PDai will get burned. And so it's a self-regulating system, right? So when the process is doing well, the joy will pay it off, and flip auctions will pay it off. When the things are so dramatic in the market with the prices, then it will go to the last mile. So instead of doing liquidations, it will pretty much be the last solution is to sell it off to Maker contracts. They'll buy it, and the PDI will get burned, and so therefore you get PDI off the market. You had too much PDI, now you're going to get PDI off the market and get the system back collateralized. That's pretty much the idea. But we haven't seen the woe yet go to because we've got so much joy left. We haven't seen that go to the flop auction. However, we've got the flop. The joy has definitely gone down from 714 down to 414. So we may see a flop auction because we've still got more total debt than we have got joy, right? So the liability is 982 million, but we've only got 414. So we could very well see this go to the flop auction at some stage, which would be pretty crazy. That'd be pretty crazy, right? So we don't have an estimate here at the moment, but you can see the debt auction requirement is that woe. So woe is the bad debt that hasn't been able to be fixed up already through earlier processes like liquidation. And of course, it's got to be greater than what they call the sump, right? Well, so the sump is only 50,000. So this is the auction amount, right? So it's a very small amount when it does go to the flop, of course, which is that last auction. And the joy has to be zero. In other words, the assets on hand, there's no money left to pay off these debts. And so you have to send them to the flop auction, right? Via the woe bad debt, right? So you have to send them there because you now need people from Maker come in and give PDai so they get Maker tokens, right? People that want Maker, they'll get Maker there from doing that, and their PDai will be destroyed and the debt will be repaid, right? So that's the idea. And so this formula has to be in case, and of course that hasn't happened yet. So because this is not zero, right? So pretty much that is where we are. So that's just a quick overview of the Maker contract. Now, one of the problems with the Maker, of course, is not just this, but of course there's this apparent exploit that's going on, and the dumping with that Richard's been highlighting. And of course, some people have argued whether that's true or not. But of course, we had that 5996 wallet and other wallets there doing pretty weird activities. Some are in the Maker theory, of course, saying that's all part of the plan. But of course, also adding more collaterals and crazy stuff like that, which it's all pretty speculative there. But certainly looks like an exploit has taken place there within the system. And there are probably 4 or 5 different attack vectors that attack the Maker contract. But I think the biggest problem, regardless of the exploit and the draining and the Maker DAO, is actually the oracles, right? You need oracles for this to work. And therefore, you can get, if you don't have them working, you have price disparities. You have people being able to manipulate the system. This assumes it gets to $1, right? This is talking about if the market actually got collateralized and put to $1, you'd still have that same problem. So I think it's fundamentally flawed from the Oracle point of view. And I think recently Alex McFurter highlighted that, right? He gave a very good breakdown of that, particularly around median prices, manipulating the market there. So it is kind of crazy. Now, has anyone got enough market power to do that? Well, maybe they do. Maybe they've got some techniques to do that. So we've got 2 issues here, right? We've got this exploit. We've got this the oracles, and so therefore it's kind of fundamentally flawed. And then of course Richard adds another one in saying, well, the people could come along, and big whales come along and just dump the market down, right? Just dump the market down as well. So that's potentially another flaw there too. And so all the value just washes away. So yeah, it's pretty bad, and that's why you need something that's going to be reliable. And of course, that is PUSD Algo, which we're going to be talking about soon. So at the moment, got PDai still trying to move up there at 1900. It's going to do its thing, but is it pretty much done now? The market is slowly. Richard's really trying to tell people to stop doing it, and let's see where that heads there at the moment. So it does look like the Maker process is working, but the problem is this exploit, and probably even more fundamental is the oracles sitting behind it, price calls, and of course also the holders there, the big holders there could come over and dump at any time. That is, either Maker ones or PDai there as well. So pretty crazy. Isn't the oracles for PDai broken? Yeah, that's right. So that's why we're talking about the oracles there. And Alex McFurter does a very good breakdown of that. We've got Brian in house there, Hayden, Anita, and thank you, Superman, for running through this. Hopefully it's a little bit insightful as well. I haven't really seen many people talking about the Maker. I'm going to probably do a bigger video on the Maker contract, and we'll try and do an animation as well. That's even easier to follow on that one. So pretty awesome stuff, and I'll bring up quite a few of the issues. Like I say, there are potentially 4 or 5 tech vectors on the Maker contract. And of course, then there's other contracts on PulseChain that got copied over from Ethereum on the 10th of May, 2023, right? There's Compound and Aave and other contracts there, Rocket Pool, there's lots of stuff, right? So, it's, and it's not really good. There's been no domestic native oracle on PulseChain. We only just got the Fetch oracle within the last 2 weeks, right? And we know we've got the Signum oracle coming up. So there are no oracles to operate. So it's going to be pretty crazy. And obviously it appears that Richard Hart is not behind it. So it was either Richard Hart or a third-party team, right? So it looks like there is definitely a third-party team, and some of those maxis are involved in that online, and we've been covering them with respect and honor, and people can decide what they are, right? We don't talk about their comments and say, "Oh, slam them," and a lot of them do provide very good evidence. So, a respect for that, right? Respect for that, and then you have to just decide, is that worthy or not? And Richard's pretty much out there going, "Nah, leave this alone," And of course, keys as well, God mode keys out there too. So lots of issues there. And so you're taking a lot of risk for return, right? All in the hope of believing the idea that suddenly the system's going to clarize to $1, and it was worth entertaining. Now, some people, of course, say, why didn't Richard come out earlier? Well, probably because of the SEC case, right? You can't say too much stuff, right? So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Now, we're going to talk about PUSD Algo because this really is going to be the ultimate solution. This is the best model, particularly for scalability, which is a big deal. So it's going to be a stable coin. It's going to have a V3 DEX. Could end up being one of the biggest DEXs, if not the biggest one behind PulseX. Definitely has potential to do that, and for a number of reasons. And of course, also going to have a DeFi platform. In other words, you're going to have yield-bearing opportunities on the platform. In fact, multiple of them, right? So it really does have that full suite. And of course, it's species unique, as I say. It's the only only model on the planet like this, and it has the heart of it, of course, is the stability miners, right? These stability miners here. That is the heart of it. And of course, we've seen it live working on Pulse Chain as a test version, but live in a live environment. And its peg was incredible. It outdid USDL, outdid USDL, outdid HexDC, and of course outdid PXDC, the three liquidity forks. With the stability of the peg, it was pretty much at a dollar peg once all the miner bots are operating within a few days, and also outdid the Coast stablecoin too. And they can often depeg, a cent or two, and under a lot of duress, they can depeg dramatically up to 10 to 20 cents from the dollar peg. So it's there's a lot of issues there. Now they serve good functions, but they don't have a good strong peg there. And of course, the stability miners there help do that peg. And we saw it operating pretty well. Now, the one thing, of course, is people, when they provide liquidity to the stability miner, they get a yield for that, right? So they get a yield for that, and you see a few estimates here on Algo, Wrap PUSD, and Flex. Now, this version of the interface, this UI UX or user interface, user experience, is what I call 2.0 is Pulse Algo, Pulse USD Algo 1.0 is kind of what I'm trying to say. But we know that Jacob has recently hired a new crew of devs to specialize on PUSD Algo 2.0. Well, so what do we mean by that? Well, essentially, we mean that they're going to do a new UI UX is what is expected, to update the docs, and potentially do some tweaks around the model, which has already proven itself to work. Now, the other thing about the fact that when it was on testnet, not only did it peg to $1, but it also was making money. So I thought that was pretty impressive. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a combination between making money in the LP webbing, making money with, and also having some degree of inflation tokens as well, because it's got three tokens, right? PUSD, it's got PUSD, it's got Algo, which means algorithmic, right? It's the main coked coin. So if you remember Terra Luna, so Terra Luna there, well, this is going to, Algo is really the main coin on the platform. And this is the one that could scale, right? So this is what people have to buy. They have to buy, of course, Algo, so they can go and mint PUSD, right? So that's what they have to do there. But the secret sauce behind the actual peg is actually the liquidity miner, right? There's a whole ton of miners that will be run to keep the dog peg. So they're almost, to some degree, a little bit disconnected. And that's very cool, right? And therefore, people can go in the mint, buy Algo and push up PUSD. And on the reverse, of course, they can swap them back, right? So they can swap them back. They can, swap PUSD back to Algo, etc. And there's a little 1% fee for that as well. Now, obviously, people are going to be able to earn on the platform in addition, so you can provide LP to the miner. You're going to be able to get these tokens and put them in here as well and earn. And for everything you do on this, right, you also earn the third token, which is Flex token. So you get that activity and you earn that. And also there's going to be staking as well. Now, if you remember Terra Luna, they had the Anchor protocol. It was offering like 20% yield. Well, this is going to be probably more modest than that, right? But that means it's more sustainable. And of course, we've got Algo staking, which would be the main coin on the platform. And that's what everyone will be buying. That's the one that could really go up in a lot of price, right? Just like Terra Luna did. And then we've got PUSD staking, right? But like UST. And then, of course, that's going to be earning a more modest yield on a stable coin, but still earning a decent yield that people can come into, right? So with the multiple token ecosystem, with the stability miners there and the peg will attract, if it's a very good peg, it's going to attract a lot of players, a lot of project teams, potentially also. This whole model could be because could be so successful, like the Liquidity fork that's been successful on Ethereum coming to Pulse Chain and other chains. This could also be potentially forked and copied over to many other chains. So there's a lot of scalability options there. And that's why I've been covering it, right, for all this time, because I saw the opportunity here. And of course, this could be the holy grails of algorithmic stablecoins in crypto, and that's where we want to be, right? That's where we want to be. Now, it's not without its risk, of course, but it is pretty exciting. Now, we've seen actually what I call, it's called a sacrifice, but it's not like a normal sacrifice. That's why I call it a contribution, because it's really up to 75% of the funds will be used for the stability miner and used for the LP pools that need to be set up for these tokens, right? Pretty awesome. Now, the other thing is the V3 DEX. Jacob has already confirmed with a bit of a thumbs up that it could have a whole array, a full variety of token offerings, just like you see on 9mm, 9-inch PulseX of the tokens here. And with a strong stablecoin like PUSD, it will attract a lot of protocols because everyone wants to have a stablecoin connection there, particularly a native one, because a native stablecoin offers you an alternative to bridged-in stables. And of course, that also is beneficial. And we know that PUSD is going to be potentially backed on the back of USDL. So it's a double up of stability there with the USDL Liquidity fork as well. So it's pretty clever like that. Now, obviously, we've seen the last couple of days, the actual sacrifice balance has actually been moving up. So people are starting to understand, I think, that PUSD Algo is really the true PDai, right? PUSD Algo is going to be the true algorithmic stablecoin and the first algorithmic stablecoin on Pulse Chain. Now, there are one or two little models out there at the moment on Pulse Chain, but they're all speculative ones. This is actually going to be pegged from the beginning. So pretty exciting there. Now, at the moment, of course, you can get two bonuses in here. The first, of course, is a 19% referral bonus. The link's in the video description for that. And of course, that's like free money straight out of the bag. All you have to do is copy this contract at the top, connect your wallet, copy the contract, and then select the tokens that you want to participate in. Now, you will have to be a little bit of patience because we are waiting for the Signum Oracle to launch. And of course, that could be within the next week or two. I've just talked to the dev in the Telegram. So we're talking about within the next week or two. Now, he's been waiting for a few things to play out in the market. And one of those has been the PDai commotion. And of course, another one, of course, is the Fetch Oracle. But I do think the Signum Oracle is going to be superior. And also, it is also something that Jacob from PUSD Algo has participated in and therefore has tagged tokens and probably end up being a reporter as well for Signum Oracle. And therefore, that is a requirement for PUSD Algo to proceed. Once that is operating as expected, so looking for the next week or two for the launch, we will then also get the an updated plan for PUSD Algo from Jacob. But we already had, told by a Cult DeFi, Jacob's PR man, about 2-3 days ago that Jacob's hired a specialized team for PUSD Algo to proceed. So we already know that's already moving with great gusto there. Now, I don't want to say too much, but there's also, who knows, will come in to help fund this project to market. So just a question mark over that, hint. So we'll see what happens in that space. But certainly more interest is taking up there. Like I say, you can do your due diligence. I've got a whole video series on the channel. Just type in PUSD Algo. You'll be able to see the whole video series that I did with Jacob. I got a whole ton of small videos there. Particularly check out the stability miner. I think it's probably the most important part there to see how the technology works. And we also know that we're going to get updated documents, right? So the documents page is going to be updated as well. So this will be looking all flash and new soon. So check that out too. That's coming. So yeah, you get two bonuses, 90% using referral bonus, links in the video description. And the second one, of course, is if you do up to $1,000 inclusive of the bonus. So it's about $840 plus the 90% bonus will get to $1,000. That will get you access to the second bonus, which is even bigger, which is what they call the bonus X. And that could get up to 2x multiplier there as well. So you can see this wallet here, number 2, used a 19% referral bonus and then got a 1.55% bonus X because they're over 1,000. This one here also used a 90% bonus and they got a 1.6 multiplier. So you can sort of see the idea how this works. And if you get this bonus X, the second bonus, you get way more tokens, way more credits for your sacrifice or contribution, and therefore you get more tokens for that as well. So for every dollar that you sacrifice, including those bonuses, you get 20 Algo, 200 Flex, which is the reward token, and 0.01 Wrap PUSD, which is the reward version of the stablecoin. So that is where we're at the moment. So you can consider contributing to your due diligence, not financial advice, all that good stuff. But I'm pretty excited about this being the ultimate stablecoin on PulseChain Algorithmic. And of course, this will be the third token in the trilemma. So imagine a triangle. We've got Coast at the top of that triangle. We've got the liquidity forks on the bottom right-hand side, and then on the left-hand side of that triangle, we've got PUSD Algo coming. So very, very cool. And of course, that's going to offer a benefit to PulseChain generally because it's going to be more scalable potentially than all these others, right? And we'll probably see more of it move around PulseChain too, which would be better for leverage and moving prices up. So I'm pretty excited about where that could head. So very, very excited there. Check it out. Links in the video description, of course, to that. And yeah, kind of cool. All right, so let's jump away to Mafia. This is another project from Jacob, of course. And, he is just really building out some of the best quality stuff on PulseChain. And you can see with PDai drama, you can see with all the memes and stuff like that, people really do want protocols that are going to add some real big value. And, of course, PulseMafia here is absolutely doing a great job. The number one GameFi on PulseChain, the number one NFT marketplace on PulseChain, and the number one, and in fact, the only metaverse on PulseChain as well, with the land market and the developments on that. Pretty awesome. Now we can see that that the game is moving forward. We've got players that are playing, and of course we can see at the moment that we've got players. In fact, Trigger Happy here from the Yakuza, one of our family members, is the first one to reach the runner rank, which is pretty exciting. So congratulations to him. This is on the Pulse chain, of course, not talking about BNB, but he's the first one to get runner rank. And of course, if you want to go to the ranks here on the Wikipedia here for the game, you can see that Runner is right here. So he's the most advanced player so far and ranking up. Now you can see some of the other ones here: Cloak, Thief, Locksmith, and Runner. So he's actually the first one to get access to smuggling narcotics as well. So he's the first one to get access to that, which is pretty cool. To get the Cloak, you can start boost smuggling, but he's got to Runner there. So it's pretty exciting. Everyone is racing to climb this ladder. Look how many there are ranks in this game. So it's a lot of work to be done there. So it's going pretty well, and there's a lot of players doing that. How do we know? Well, the jail is full of gangsters. That's why. Jail is full of gangsters. And look at this, gangsters here. We've got all these gangsters at the moment, and they're all in jail, and they need to be rescued. They need to be busted out. So people are having to bust these people out of jail as well. It's a crazy place to be, right? This, like, Capone here is in there for an hour, for goodness sake. So that's pretty bad. I'm looking for Trigger Happy because if you get Trigger Happy out, you can get extra bonus, right? If you get out a player that's well ahead of you. So pretty crazy. Let's see if I can get Capone out. Shall we see that? Let's do that. Let's see if I can get Capone out live here as well. Let's see what that happens. Am I going to go to jail though? If I fail, I could go to jail. I may. That's a third possibility. Plus a random number generator, which always seems to put me in jail. I don't know. Let's see if I can get Capone, the former Don of Dons, of course, of the director, the biggest fan of there. I failed to get him out, but I got away. Thank goodness for that, because I didn't really want to go to jail, to be honest, between you and me. I don't really want to go to jail there. So pretty crazy. Now, obviously, people are doing crimes. There's all sorts of crimes that people can do. You can do crimes, and of course, at the moment, you can do crimes there. So got a 38% chance here. Change the percentages of crime changes as you go up the ranks. So you can do a crime here. Let's see. Should I do a crime? Let's rob a hot dogs vendor. It's got 39% chance of winning that. So let's do that. So we're having a bit of fun here for sure. Hope you guys are having fun here on the game. This is, like I say, the number one game fight. Now, we know that the Crash game is coming. So that's coming up. So we will have another big game on PulseChain. But let's see where this goes here. Let's see if I can rob a hot dog vendor and get some good percentage yield there. Now, when you do that, you get some money. You get some XP to rank up your player. But you can also go to jail, which kind of sucks if you fail. I succeeded. Wow, I'm so glad I succeeded on live stream. Isn't that cool? So 140 in-game currency I got, and 1.25% on the XP. So not a lot of XP, but because as you go through the ranks, probably a bit tougher. But definitely that was pretty cool. Now, the other one I can do is, of course, nick a car. I can nick a car. And, hey, look, it's not something I'm proud of, but I am a gangster. And so, that's how we roll. Now, there's 1.5% chance of winning this from a dealer. And that's got to be a pretty expensive car if you won that. But the chances of going to jail are pretty high there. Now, even at 15.5%, that's still, it's still not so much. So what's that, 3 and 20? So yeah, it's still risky, but we're going to do it for live stream just because we're crazy here, and we're going to try that too. So let's see if I can do. Can I do 2 successful crimes back to back? I don't know if I've actually ever done that, and I'm not sure how common that is. But let's see if I can do 2 successful crimes back to back. That'd be pretty cool if I did. So, but I've got a relatively modest chance of doing it. So let's see. Am I going to jail? It'll be bad. If I go to jail, then I'll have to finish covering PulseMafia because it's going to be in prison for at least 45 minutes. Probably the case. But wish me luck. Let's see. Hopefully I get away with it. Hopefully, even if I don't do the crime successfully and get a car, so you get some XP, I think, some money, some cars, something like that. And let's see whether that happens or not. Or am I going to jail for 45 minutes? And if I go to jail, someone might rescue me. Someone may not rescue me. We'll see. They may go to jail for trying to rescue me. Who knows? But there's a lot of people playing this game. You can see that how many people in jail. There's a lot of players playing. So it is getting good traction on Pulse Chain. And the Mafia game's pretty full. There are a number of crime families fighting each other, right, for supremacy. This is taking a little bit longer. Not sure why. Maybe because the gas prices are really high at the moment. So it's best to also, if you want to be cost efficient, just to choose off-peak times with the gas. I think as the PDai drama dies down too, we'll probably have cheaper gas on the Pulse chain. It's definitely probably been contributing to that. Obviously, Mafia games also contributing to the transaction amounts because people are playing this game all day and not ranking up. So there's a lot of transactions going on from Mafia. And this is where proper, really good quality protocols. And Jacob's building that, right? He's got a vision for building quality, and he's learned from past issues and mistakes that may have been made. He's learned from that. And he's moved forward. He has auditing now, and he's got big teams and all sorts of things. So people, he's changed tokenomics. He learned about tokenomics better, and there's lots of things that you learn over time that it doesn't matter how smart you are. You still got to learn a little bit of things on the road, right? It's a bit like life, a little bit like life. So there we go. So the gas must be spikier. That's probably why it's flipping over here. So we'll just have to see how that goes. But let's see if that comes back. I'll come back to that in case. So that's kind of cool. Everyone's trying to rank up at the moment. And of course, not just ranking up, right? Everyone's trying to get their kill skill up. They're trying to, do more, get more cars, get more money. There's a lot of things going on here with this game. Now, I just want to finish off the Pulse Chain update here with, actually, I've got another update because we're going to talk about EMIT. But we got Hex at the moment. I just want to talk about the OA. And we've got at the moment the yield's gone down from about 7.5 to 1.5. And this reflects, of course, the OA sacrifice wallet staking and doing a bit of a ladder again, which has been pretty crazy. And but this makes Hex rarer, just like we saw incentive token get cut 20x. This is now rarer as well, and it's true for both chains, both the Pulse chain here and Ethereum. So let's see what that does to the Hex price. Not straight away, but in time that could have a major impact there. So we'll keep a lookout for that. Some big moves there from Richard Hart / whoever else running those accounts. Maybe Richard Hart's mates there. Oh, I think we have. Did we have a call? Yeah, it hasn't actually given me a result, but I think it's because we were took so long to do. So let me just refresh this on the old game here before we get into EMIT. We're going to get into EMIT. So EMIT's the next big farm coming to Pulse Chain as well. And so that's coming up. And let's see. Did I go to jail? I don't think I went to jail. I don't know what happened there. No, it's still going along there. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But anyway, people playing Mafia, it's been pretty good. And there's a lot of conversation in the Directorate Allegiance and a lot of conversation as well over on the official channels for PulseMafia. Now, if you want to play, you can actually just set up a player straight away through it. And you can use Pulse and other stuff apparently to buy it now, so it's a lot easier to play. And you can play today and join up. If you want to join the Directorate, just go to the Directorate family on there, hit the Telegram, and join our recruitment. That's it. After you've made your player, get in there, play today, start up, and start ranking up there. Now, the tip I would say is that you need to go to Helper Bots and use the Helper Bots, right, to rank up. So particularly, it will rank you up a lot faster there in the game. So that's the tip of the day there. Dehexagon says Tetra launch 28th of March. Yeah. That's coming up there. So, hey, look, with PUSD Algo, we're waiting for Signum. Signum Oracle is expected to come out in the next week or two. That's from the dev today. And, of course, we're also from Tetra, 28th of March. That's coming up. Now, Tetra is a major protocol. So we've got major protocols launching on Pulse Chain. So, yeah, PDai, unfortunate drama, unfortunate fallout for many people. It's been an opportunity for short-term players. But we've got big protocols coming on Pulse Chain. We've got Signum Oracle, we've got Tetra coming. Tetra's going to be huge, and we've got the PUSD Algo also moving forward. And obviously, we've got Mafia game here. We've got the Crash game coming as well from Firewhale. Things are really moving forward here with the Pulse Chain, so got to be excited. And once these oracles really start to flourish, like Fetch, and particularly Signum Oracle, we're going to see a lot of protocols be built on the back of those with proper Oracle price feeds, non-price feeds like sports betting and things like that. And that's another area that Jacob's coming up with, right? Slot machines, casinos. We've got a big area coming up there as well. So you think about, we've got DeFi, stablecoin DeFi from Jacob. We've got GameFi NFT, Metaverse from Jacob with Mafia, and then we've got this big crypto casinos and sports betting and slot machines coming up with the crypto. So it's a pretty awesome ecosystem. Jacob's definitely one of the go-to places on Pulse Chain, adding value. So we've got Richard Hart coins. We've got the pump tire, a few selected pump tires. We've got a couple of top tier projects like PDC. And now we've got the ecosystem from Jacob, so pretty exciting stuff there. And of course, now we've also got Tetra about to list up as well. Now, I did do a video on all the DeFi on Pulse Chain. Check that out on the channel. I went through all the top quality ones. Really, there was probably a couple I missed, maybe, but definitely check that out on the channel as well. Pretty good video, and it's all because I'm trying to help the market people. Especially people that are not in there here all day. They can just come every so often to cut through all the noise and get to the signal, as they say. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, big shout out there, DHexCon there on that. So 28th of March for Tetra coming up there. And we'll actually go to Tetra quickly now that you brought it up. And it's tetra.win. And this is I guess all their products are coming up there. And they've got some really good products coming up. So I'm very excited about that. Omnis is already launched, right? So, but Atlas, we're expecting this. Atlas is a Web3 front end Tetra. Now, apparently all their products are launching. So it's going to be huge there. The dashboard allows users to manage their Tetra user account, deploy or publish automations and strategies, search for managed crypto assets, and track portfolio. This is a game changer on Pulse Chain. The only other team that's doing anything like this from memory is the Batia's crew with their AI platform that's coming up. That's another big thing that's going to be pretty amazing, right? We're looking forward to that. And then, of course, they've got the Stratus project as well. And this is really cool. If any of you have used 3D software, a Blender, if you've used Blender before, they have these nodes, right? These nodes, and you can just click everything up. So basically, you don't have to be a developer, right? You can just connect up nodes and do developer-like things, right? So you go, oh, I wish I could do limit orders, set it up myself. Well, you could do that with this drag and drop setup, right? And so it's pretty cool. Now, it doesn't necessarily need an Oracle as well, even though Signum and Tetra are all part of the same team. This doesn't actually need the Oracle to operate. It can call prices from like PulseX or other price call opportunities there. Now, pretty exciting. So the people are going to be able to do this. It's very cool. So if you use Blender, it's quite intuitive, and you can do some pretty clever stuff here. And of course, this is going to open up development to everyday people. You just have to spend a little bit of time on it, but you just have to drag and drop and connect things up and think in your mind about what you want to do. You could take other people's ideas and then animate those and have some cool stuff. You could do trading bots and stuff like that. There's probably all sorts of opportunities there. So that's going to be pretty popular, and it's going to add a lot more stimulus to Pulse Chain generally. It's coming up on the 28th of March. Pretty exciting, right? So big shout out there from DHexCon there. Nice one. Now, I am looking to have the team come on to talk about Signum and to talk about Tetra. So hopefully that will take place in the future. Meanwhile, Jacob is crushing it here with the old PulseMafia. Now, talking about that, well, we've got Kairos there in the old EMIT. As you guys know, I did a video the other day on EMIT, and I've been posting it on X. EMIT is the next big farm coming on the Pulse Chain. Now, obviously, if you provide liquidity indexes like PulseX, you can then bring those tokens that you get. So when you provide liquidity, you get what they call ownership tokens or LP tokens. And they go to your wallet representing the liquidity you provided. So let's say you provided liquidity for Pulse and the new EMIT token that's coming up. Then you would have that liquidity in PulseX, and you can then bring those ownership tokens you get, called LP tokens, and put them in the EMIT farm and earn potentially a very good secondary token, right? So you earn fees in PulseX, then you earn a big yield incentive in EMIT, right? So pretty exciting there, and we're looking forward to that. Recently, we covered the Vox farm, which did pretty well, but this has probably got a more longer-term view on the farm as well, and this is pretty exciting. And of course, the NFTs just launched, right? So we got a new update here from the EMIT farm. which I think is pretty cool. And just let me get something here quickly. I'm just going to pop something up. So let me just get here a moment. Just got to pull something up here. And so if you guys want to join a Telegram, definitely do that. I'm just going to copy something here and post it in the chat there so you guys can join up and definitely check it out and get more information. That's very, very important. I've lost myself now because I'm on the wrong screen. And join up there. So I'm going to post the link to EMIT Telegram and join up and just be active. Engage with the mods in that to get yourself on the airdrop list. You'll potentially get some points the more active you are. But join up to that as well if you want to get in early on these. Very important. So that is the Telegram link there. Join up to that today. It's easy to do. Just click it, get involved, and find out more. You can watch my video, of course, on the tokenomics that's coming up with the EMIT. Just type in EMIT. So I only put that out in the last couple of days, and definitely check that out. So that's pretty easy. And what else there? We've got so DHEX, again, just talking about Tetra still, is a Windows software application that's automated LP management and partial fill limit orders on all DEX. It's cool. Thanks for that DX in there. And yeah, that is the EMIT as well. EMIT is farm is coming to PulseChain. Pretty cool. So check it out. So anyway, the emitters. So the emitters are the NFT. They give you a booster in the farms. So if you get airdrops points in the Telegram and you multiply them by your NFTs, you get a booster in the farm. So it gives you that advantage in the farms coming up with the yield, quite a big significant too. Each NFT has benefits in the farm platform, such as 0% fees as well, and an airdrop multiplier for each NFT held. So you can just get the NFTs and you will get a basic airdrop multiplier, but if you join a Telegram, you can potentially get more, right? Up to 4 points in there as well. So you can mint them on the EMIT farm as well. So that's where you go to. And you can buy and sell to find your perfect fit on Pulse Market. So they've now just gone on Pulse Market, one of the NFT markets on PulseChain, one of the ones that's still operating quite well. So you can definitely check that out. So I'm going to post a link to this as well, so you can go and check those out on the market too. But you can buy them on the website. The website, of course, is emit.farm and NFTs, and they're only 1 million Pulse each, so it's not too bad price there. What's it, about $30 or something? So definitely check that out. But get into Telegram and get an NFT or at least a couple of NFTs maybe, and that will give you the edge in the farm. So airdrop points in Telegram, you will get some naturally just through the NFT buy, and then also get a couple of NFTs. Up to you. Do due diligence, and then the farm is coming out in the next few days or so. So the farm is pretty close on that one, so you can participate in that if you will, or you can just speculate on EMIT on the token itself, getting early on that. So there's a couple of opportunities there on the EMIT. They do have a long-term view, so they're going to be trying to be a sustainable farm. So you can check out some of the tokenomics that I covered in the video, and of course ask questions in EMIT there. Kairos is the founder there, and there's a couple other moderators as well. So let them know that Superman sent you, and that you're there to check things out. So pretty cool. Brendan says Alex from Hedron replied to Richard Hart just now. Oh, cool. I've got to pull that up then. Let's see if I can pull that up. That is hot off the top. Before we do that, though, let us get into a TitanX quickly. We're going to come back to Alex replying, but we've got TitanX at the moment, just breathing, still trying to find that bottom. Still is up, but still trying to find that bottom there. So we'll have to wait and see where that all goes. We know that it's full, got a very heavy collateral, up 90% or so, 95%. But at the moment, it's still drifting at the bottom. So no movement there. We know that Jake Sharp is back on X, and the ETH ratio there just humming along the bottom there. 10 zeros, 8,000. Not a lot happening there, but has definitely not broken down further at the moment. And hopefully the omni-chain development's already been done, and this is on to the next level. Dragon X, everything else is down a little bit there. The ratio is 6.97, still holding up pretty well though after a little bounce. X28 dropped a little bit there, 0.88 was that 0.91 ratio. Shogun doing okay. That's only down 3% at the moment. Hydra and Hyper not doing too bad either. And of course, all the mints are out for those. Vault, we're waiting for the roadmap, but of course, Stevie D is holding all that good stuff off the side until the time is right. Inferno's going omni-chain, expecting some development from there. These guys are not holding back. Big shout out to Crypto Utah and LA and all that. They are still pushing forward, still doing all the live streams. Those are the principles of TitanX. So actually, some of the developers are leading the way there. Very, very cool. We got waiting for stuff from Brandon around Morpheus. That's down 15% today. Could be have Dexes, V3 Dexes over on base and Pulse Jam. What else we got going here? Tink Farm may get some news around that in due course from Eric from DragonX. Element there 280. That's going omni-chain, so looking forward to that pairing up with a big web LTP along with Baby DragonX and 269, 369. I think it was the NFTs. And then, of course, Uranus there's been doing very well. Down 28% today, but had a nice big burn party last night, as I understand it, and is sitting at 2.31 on the ratio. So still pretty good, but got up to about 2.7, I think, 2.8 on the ratio. So that is still performing very well, despite the price being down after that big burn party there. That is still doing very well there. And, of course, we see some of the new ones that have been launched, right? Flare, BA8 and S88. They're all down at the moment, 46%, 30%, 27%, but they've only just been launched the last day or two. That's probably just a function of the auction, as my guess there. I haven't actually checked out B88 and S88, though, on the tokenomics, so I need to do that. It's something I'm a bit behind on. But that's pretty much it. What else have we got going? Let's have a look. I am waiting for, obviously, Bitcoin Genie from Stevie D, and I'm waiting for Taurus there from Cryptographics, and also Vibermex there for, which is going to benefit the Tink Farms. Those are pretty much it. That's a quick summary there. I just want to have a quick look at Uranus because I wanted to see what the buy and burn value is at the moment. So let's go check that out quickly. Then we'll get to this Alex post that's come out. Well, I'm up to now in 26 minutes on live stream. I thought it was like 10 minutes. I thought it was like 10 minutes and it's now 26. How about that? All right, so we got the buy and burn there sitting at 21,000, so still looking pretty good. And it looks like they've turned the buy and burn down there as well. So they had a bit of a party yesterday, and it looks like it's just cooled off. They've still got 21,000 in the buy and burn. Not bad. We're expecting some good things there. All right, let's see if we can bring up this Alex post here. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to find it though. Let me pull up on another site here. In the meantime, let me say hello to everybody. Hey everybody, how you doing? All right, we've got a couple of minutes to go. We're going to wrap up soon, but we're going to look at this Alex post. I'm just going to find it. Alex McFurter, and he's the super dev that did Icosahedron, and we're looking for 2.0, but haven't seen that yet. So let's see if how that goes. Let's see here. So actually, that's interesting. All right, so this is pretty interesting. Okay. So this is things that move. Things are still moving pretty fast. Things are still moving pretty fast, aren't they? That's pretty crazy, right? That's pretty crazy. Let's see if I can actually. No, I can't do it while I'm live, actually. So let me pull this up and see. Hopefully, this is going to work. I've got to start using my new profile because I keep forgetting to do that. Let me just have a look at this. Let me see here. Let me just pop this up too. Let me find. So I'm almost there. Just trying to find this other one. And I'm going to pull that up. Bam. All right. Yeah, I need to use my new browser. I was supposed to use my new browser today, but I forgot to do that. That's pretty interesting. All right, let's do it. Let's get back there. Link B. Yeah. All right, so let's jump over to that, and we're gonna have a quick look. So we got here Richard Hart post. He's following up on his other post that he had. So he did a post 3 hours ago on the DAI the price there, and he was highlighting the fact that if you're going to be a degenerate, do it on things that have less counterparty risk and perhaps more functionality. I don't like high inflation, total liquidity. If you emitted infinite DAI. A PDai and market sold right now is 400K. So he was, obviously not for that. And then he posted 35 minutes ago. So this is after we went through all his posts earlier today. He says the corrected price for any inflation bug thing is near zero. So the correct price for any inflation bug thing is near zero. Though experiment, some guys borrow a PDai for nearly nothing, sells it, and anything he makes is basically pure profit, which drives the PDai price down so he can pay back his loans, which he thought wouldn't need to do unless there was a borrowing cap, which there likely is, or why not just nuke it to zero in one go, like most inflation bugs. So then after he's bought back lower, he can just reborrow for free again and nuke again, rinse and repeat, just waiting for any green candle to sell down. Also, the holders of Maker on Ethereum have the keys to nearly all the Maker on Pulse chain, and they could just execute the emergency shutdown feature good luck sucking the middleman D, as he says. TLDR, who cares about a bugged, risk-laden, exploited fake stablecoin? And then, of course, he posts, the image here. This is the master image of the contract here. We've covered that before. And all the glossary of terms, which we've been covering today. Actually, we went through that, didn't we? The key mechanisms and concepts, the gotchas and the fail modules, lots of different things there. And then he writes in 34 minutes ago, make a DAO. You and your friends have the chance to do the funniest thing, almost encouraging them to do the very thing with their God mode keys, right? So we'll see there. But anyway, Alex McFerder has responded to that. He says, if they don't do it, the Make a DAO guys don't do it, I have a backup plan in the works. OMG. So it could be very much the last spell there for the MakerDAO DAI ecosystem. So pretty crazy. Things are afoot there. I won't entertain the thought. Sure you do. Open source. Now, if anyone does, Alex is definitely one of the more meta, very talented dev that could very well do that. So there we go, Brendan. That's it from them. So pretty impressive. Man, it's are they going to sync that once and for all? Pretty crazy, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. An hour and 30 minutes. That is crazy, but we covered tons of stuff, right? Tons of stuff. It is pretty awesome. There's a lot of value coming to Pulse Chain. Richard Hart directed a lot of value to Pulse Chain. So we've got existing stuff and new stuff. Pulse Chain is really got a lot of cool stuff on it, and the buy and burn's going well. The inflation's going well. People just need to focus on really good value stuff, and it looks like they want to get rid of this this P maker theory, these flawed protocols from a number of things, God mode keys, exploiters, Oracle issues. So there's lots of issues with them, and it's time to move forward. And Richard said, focus on the good stuff. So that's kind of where we are. Is that a pretty good show? I think so. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. Follow on Rumble. Big shout out to everybody of Rumble there. We've got a good crowd over there. And what else? What else are we going to say? Hey, Janica there. Good to see you as well. And yes, we've got good crowd there and Rumble. Really appreciate that. Don't forget to hit the follow button. And yeah, we're growing. It's going to be fun. Pulse Chain's growing. Big opportunity there. And yeah, X1 Chain, by the way, is coming too. That's another thing. We'll cover that on another video. But X1 there from Jack Levin does look like it's getting very close. So kind of cool. Now, if you haven't joined our community in Discord, I encourage you to do it. Everyone's got their own special spark, and we'd love to have you in the Discord there. The link's in the video description to join to that. Only $12.50 a month, so really good value for our private Discord. We've got about 1,100 people in there, so get in there today. The other one, of course, is our strategy club for crypto. If you're really busy, good place to be. Get a lot of intel there as well. And that's only $35 a month, so that's really good value, particularly compared to some places out there. And of course, we also got a crypto course for beginners that I just soft launched. It takes you from beginner all the way to advanced in crypto, and you'll have a very good comprehension at a high level of crypto, which is pretty cool. And not get bogged down with too much technical stuff. It's just like a good book. You can go through 15 videos and pick that up, and that's only $74.99. So really good value there. Join the Discord there. Thanks for that, Brian. Big shout out to Brian, our community leader. And of course, he does a great job. You'll meet him in the Discord. We also have a crypto helpline in there, for goodness sake. Who has a crypto helpline in influencer Discords or Telegrams these days? Nobody. So that's a pretty special place as well. And we have all the resources in there as well. Links to just about everything as well in the old Discord. So it's a wonderful place to be. If you love Pulse Chain, you like TitanX, you like X1 Chain, you like crypto generally, get into there. If you like politics, of course, we're covering that too on our variety shows. Politics and other topics, sports even. We'll do lots of different topics on this channel moving forward. Then it's one to join up, as course. And ultimately, we're going to have a fun time. All right, take care, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the show, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.